So we begin translation. What is translation? Conversion of messenger RNA to proteins is translation process. Now, even before the discovery of genetic code, before that, this adapter molecule concept was postulated by Francis Crick. He only told that there must be an adapter molecule that can do both the functions of reading the code and binding the amino acid. So that's why he named there must be an adapter molecule, which later came to be known as the transfer RNA is the adapter molecule. So transfer RNA is that adapter molecule which Francis Crick had already postulated even before genetic code. One more thing is even before this thing, previously the transfer RNA was known as soluble RNA. So it was known as sRNA. That was previously it was known as so. Now you know that an adapter molecule, an electric adapter, at least it will do minimum two functions, that is more than one function. So that's why this adapter molecule, two functions. One is reading the code, another is binding the amino acid. Now if you see the structure of transfer RNA, it is a clover leaf structure. That is, its secondary structure is clover leaf and the actual structure is an inverted L. So now coming to structure of the tRNA, transfer RNA. It is a clover leaf structure with this portion known as anticodon and then this portion known as the amino acid acceptor end. Okay, you can see this tyrosine is getting attached here, and here there is the anticodon for it, AUG. So actually the messenger RNA, will have the say UAG. So it is having the messenger RNA, which I have drawn down, is having the UAG code, which is for tyrosine, and the anticodon is present on the transfer RNA. Okay. Now, how it happens? That is, when amino acids come in contact with ATP, they sort of get activated, and they will be actually lying very loosely in the cytosol. So when they come in contact with ATP, this amino acid, then they immediately attach to that particular transfer RNA which has the anticodon for this. So it gets attached at the acceptor end. So this process of charging of transfer RNA is the initial phase of translation that is needed. First is initiation, elongation, then is the termination. So during the first few phases, first the transfer RNA should get charged. So charging of transfer RNA is also known as amino acetylation of transfer RNA. Okay, so this is how it gets charged. And when two charged transfer RNAs are close by, then there is a possibility of bonding between the two amino acids too. There is a possibility. It's highly, because this bonding is highly energetic process, needs a lot of energy. Now next, coming to ribosomes. Now if you see, apart from transfer RNA, what are the things that are going to play for translation? You need ribosomal RNA, you need messenger RNA, and you need transfer RNA. Now, how do the ribosomes play a role? Ribosomes are the centers, the organelles in the cell that are consisting of structural RNAs and about 80 different proteins. So that is, ribosomal RNA is also contributing for translation. Now in its inactive form, a ribosome in its inactive form will exist as two units. That is, one is smaller subunit and this is a larger subunit. Okay. The smaller subunit will get attached to the messenger RNA. That is the one which will get attached to the messenger RNA, and it will get attached at the start codon. Okay. And then the larger subunit will have two sites so that it can attach to one amino acids. Okay, so what happens? This inactive thing has come now. See this is the messenger RNA. There is a 5' end and the 3' end, and these are all the bases. Okay, so when this subunit gets attached to this, and there is one more thing called as initiator transfer RNA. Okay, that is the transfer RNA that will initiate the process of translation. Okay, and so similarly, like how there's an initiator codon like AUG is there, no, like that you have an initiator transfer RNA for initiating the process of translation. Now let's start. So from start codon, it will, this anticodon which is belonging to the transfer RNA, it has got the tyrosine, so it will come and it will deliver it here, and the ribosome, this transfer RNA only will read the codons, okay, because it has the anticodon, so it will read. And ribosomal RNA, which is structural RNA, its work is to form bond between two amino acids, and once a bond is formed, the transfer RNA's work is over, so it goes. So another transfer RNA with next amino acid will come. Then next what happens? This ribosomal RNA will move to the next codon. So it has read here, you think once it has finished its work here, then it will move like this. Once it has finished its work here, then it will move like this, like this, like this, it will go on moving. From the start codon to stop codon, it will go on moving till this. So once it is coming to stop codon, what happens? There will be no tRNA for stop codon, and so it's a nonsense codon. There will be no amino acid created, so there will be a release factor that will come and attach to the stop codon, and this process will stop, and you get amino acid, amino acid, amino acid, amino acid, and a polypeptide chain, that is protein, is created. Now the messenger RNA between the start codon to stop codon, this particular unit only will get translated, so that's why it's called translational unit. Whereas the bases which are before the start codon up to the 5' end and after the stop codon up to the 3' end, they don't get translated, so they are known as untranslated regions, the UTRs. So here and here there are UTRs. Then you have a ribozyme in the bacteria. It's an enzyme that is for making peptide bonds. It is the 23S RNA. So there is initiation, elongation, and termination process.